Hello, hope you are good. Hope you're having a lovely day, whatever you've already been up to. We have got a nice 25-minute full body flow. We're actually going to stay on our mats the entire time this time. So, if you don't want to have loads and loads of energy in this practice, but actually you just want to feel nice and refreshed from all of your runs and workouts, then this is a good one for you to be doing for the next 25 minutes. And we're going to full sink into some hip stuff, some arm stuff, some shoulder stuff, and just get our bodies into that nice, soft, opened up feeling. So when you are ready, get anything that you might need, whether that is your mat in the right position, maybe you want a little block or a cushion if you normally use them. You don't have to have them, but feel free to grab them if you wish. Grab some water. If it's a little bit chilly where you are, maybe do grab a jumper or something you can pop on just in case you do get a little bit cooler, especially towards the end as we slow things back down. But yeah, let's crack on, press play on your music, and we will get going in a child's pose today. So when you're ready, coming to around knees width, you're bringing your knees mat width, apart. Big toes are touching behind us, our bottoms are back towards our heels. Slowly roll those shoulders away, take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, start to send your fingertips forward. Just kind of keep our hips fairly close to our heels as we let our forehead come down to rest between our arms. It doesn't matter if your forehead isn't quite reaching the mat, that is a-okay. And we're staying here for our first few moments, just trying to settle in. So close your eyes. If you need to wiggle or adjust at any point, that's absolutely fine. Feel free. And begin to take a few deep breaths, really filling up through your chest, your tummy, feel your shoulder blades expand behind you on your inhale. As you breathe out, start to sink your body down closer towards your mat. And I know in child's pose, sometimes our hips can feel a little bit twingy. So please don't worry. If staying still is just not where you're at right now, that is absolutely fine. Move around, adjust. Never ever want to be going through pain. Trying to find those sweet spots that we can stretch into and soften into. And that's the same for the whole of this practice and any other flow that we do together. Please always feel free to wiggle around. I always wiggle around, so you guys are welcome to as well. Softening your shoulders down. A couple more breaths here. And as we start to slow our breathing down, particularly our exhale, you can tap into that parasympathetic nervous system and just start to give our body those signals that we are good, we are okay, and that we can slowly relax that little bit more. So giving us that physical ability to move a little bit deeper into our stretches, to soften, to release. Taking one more deep breath. And start to bring your hands closer towards you now, guiding them back closer towards your chest. We'll lift up onto our knees at the same time, moving onto all fours, bringing your knees underneath your hips, your wrists underneath your shoulders. And we're going to come into some cat-cow, so starting to work through our upper body. As you breathe in, lower your chest down, take a big roll of your shoulders, lift through the front of the body. Exhale, start to curl round your spine, tuck your chin. Breathing in as you move forward, find that big open up. Breathing out, rolling up through your back. One more inhale coming to the front. Exhale, lifting high. Slowly back down to neutral, give your shoulders a bit of a roll. Maybe circle through your wrists. Moving from here into a bit more space for our shoulders. We're going to take our left arm up. Breathing in as you lift your fingertips towards your ceiling. And then exhale, threading this left arm underneath your right. Moving onto your shoulder, your ear, just taking that big deep stretch. Two more of those moves. So breathing in as you lift up, uncurl, reach the top. Exhale, thread your arm underneath. Last time, breathing in and out. Gently bringing your left hand back onto your mat. We'll go straight over to the other side. Breathing in as you lift right fingertips up. Exhale, bring your right arm underneath you. 2 more, inhale to the top. Exhale, bring it back down. Last time, inhale, opening up. Exhale, thread your fingers, your arm, your shoulder through. Find that big stretch across your shoulder blades behind you. And release, come back onto all fours, moving into our puppy pose, stretching your arms forward. So kind of in a child's pose, but just through the front of our body. Our hips are still lifted up. So we're reaching, lengthening through our backs and getting a nice stretch through the underside of our arms into our chest as well. And you can change up your head placement here to add or aid your stretch, I should say. So maybe your forehead comes down and you're really just working into your shoulders, your arms, your chest. Maybe you go a little bit deeper onto your chin. And that might be a little bit pinchy for some of us, so please take whichever variation feels best for you. Taking one more steady breath here. Bringing your hands back closer towards you. Give those shoulders a nice big wiggle. And let's move on to our lower body from here. We're taking our right foot forwards. Now I'm stepping my right foot straight outside my right hand, and I'm going to wiggle my toes maybe a little bit further forwards, maybe a little bit further out to the side, because we're coming into our lizard pose here. So our hips are staying low. We're taking a deep breath in and lifting up your chest. Exhale, folding forwards, moving onto your bend in your elbow, maybe coming down onto your forearms, and this may be where you want to bring a block or your cushion underneath your arms. Let me switch over my legs, and then it'll be easier for you to see. Bringing your forearms down towards your mat. Hopefully a bit of a stretch through our hips, maybe even into your glutes, maybe your lower back. And again, it might be nice to sway or rock here, particularly if you're doing this fairly early in the morning when you haven't moved too much yet. So if this is kind of your roll out of bed sort of practice, then please do sway, ease yourselves in. Slow, deep breath. One more. Can you go a little bit further into your lizard pose? Soften down. Starting to lift up onto your hands, wiggling your foot towards the middle of your mat now. Send your hands around the other side. So we're framing our ankle with our fingertips, and our hips are going back into our half splits. So right toes lifting off the ground, our hips drawing back behind us. Guide your chest forward, so a nice big stretch for our hamstrings, into our calves, down to our Achilles and our ankles. Chest coming lower and forwards with every single breath out. Good. From here, start to come back up, bending your right leg, planting your foot down. Both hands to the inside of your ankle now. We're going to turn to the long edge of our mat. So start to walk your hands around. And as you do that, we're swiveling on this left knee at the back and straightening back through this right leg. Left hand coming down behind us. Right arm reaches up. So we've got one long line down our right side, looking up past our right fingertips. And release. Both hands down towards the back of your mat now. So we've just swiveled over to the other side. Come back onto all fours. And then bring your left leg forwards. Same as we did last time. We're just going to match up what we just did. So left foot wiggles towards the front, outside our hands. Maybe you want to extend your right leg a little bit further back, depending on where you are on your mat. Breathing in, coming up onto your fingertips. Exhale down back into this lizard pose. Again, you can stay on your hands, just bend into your elbow, move onto your forearms, use your block or your cushion, sway side to side. The options are endless, people. What feels good? Where can you move to? Where can you close your eyes and find that beautiful focus that you have and just settle in there? You might find that one side feels quite different to the other. Maybe you can't quite get to the same place. That is absolutely okay. You're all good there. Notice that. Think about practicing or working on, that imbalance through every single workout, through your stretches. Maybe notice how it affects those things. May only be very subtle. That is all good too. One more breath. Taking your hands back up to your mat if they're not already there. Let's heel toe this left foot towards the middle of our mats. Extend your hips back. Lift your toes off the ground into our half splits. As you breathe in, take your chest up, length through your spine. Exhale, fold forwards. Maybe you're walking your fingertips further forwards too. Guide your chest down. If you're anything like me, you will find that one side is a little bit tighter than the other. Soften through your chest. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Use your exhale. Making our way back to the top of our mats. Both hands inside our ankle. Turning again to this long side of our mat. So walk your hands around. Swivel on your right leg so your foot or your ankle's behind you. Lengthen through this left side. Right hand goes onto your mat. Left arm reaches forward, long line. Can we look up past our fingertips? Can we feel that deep stretch through our waist, our hips, down to our ankles? Turning back onto the tops of your mats, back onto all fours. And then from here, moving into a pigeon, we're going to bring our left knee forwards, sliding it towards the back of your left wrist and extend back away with this right leg. Now, as always, pigeon looks different on all of us. So you may find that actually from here, you are good. We're aiming to keep our hips fairly forward, fairly square to the front of your mat. And if that's not quite possible already, you might want to just pop a block or a cushion underneath this left glute, and then it'll help you kind of sit up slightly more on your hips and maybe encourage that slight turn through your hips to come forwards. If you have more space in your hips, if you've got a little bit more flexibility there, you could draw your left ankle further forward to the front, have a little bit more of a parallel line with your shin and the top of your mat. If that is not working and you go all wonky, do not worry. Come back. Bring this ankle closer towards you and start from that position. Fingertips are coming down, lifting up through the crown of our heads, grow tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Now, as always, we have options. We can stay on our hands. Maybe we're just kind of halfway holding ourselves here, and that's already enough on our hips and glutes. Maybe we're back down on those forearms like we were in our lizard. Maybe your arms are all the way reached forwards and your head rests down on the mat in front. Go to whichever variation that you want to go to right now. And that could be different to something you've done before. It may be that you've not got quite as much room as you've had last time, or maybe you've got loads more. See where you're at. As always, listen to your body, work with it. We're staying here for a few deep breaths and just letting ourselves melt into the mat as we exhale. Slowly breathing. One more breath. Bringing your hands closer back towards you, lifting up through your chest. We're going to bring our hands to the outside of this left hip and see if we can draw our right leg forwards. Don't worry if you're slightly off the mat from here, that is absolutely fine. Your left foot is to the inside of your right thigh. Right leg is reaching out, your toes flex back towards you. Deep breath in as you reach fingertips up high. Exhale, send your fingertips towards your toes. Guide your chest down. Finding some length not only through this right leg, but also down our back. So aiming not to curl over and hunch through our spines, but lifting up through our chests. And I know that can feel a bit counterintuitive because we're not really folding as far, but where can you feel it? I know I say this all the time, but where can you actually pay attention to looking at the length or feeling that length through your muscles? So for me, staying here is actually letting me get a little bit more space through my lower back than if I was to curl all the way forwards. So what's the aim of our posture and where can we feel and listen to our bodies to get into it? One more deep breath. Making your way up. Slowly unravel, give your shoulders a bit of a wiggle. Bringing your right leg closer towards you. We're going to come into a boat pose from here. So our shins are going parallel to our mats. Shoulders are rolled back. Hands behind your knees or maybe arms stretched out, palms facing up. See where you're at right now. Lift through your chest, squeeze down through your core. And then crossing your legs, hands on the mat in front of you. Lifting back up onto all fours. We love an all fours today. Back into our pigeon on the other side, starting with this right knee closer towards your right wrist. Extend back away with those left legs. Same as before, adjust wherever you need. Maybe that's a block underneath your bottom. Maybe that is wiggling your ankle, your shin further forwards. And you might have one side that feels quite different to the other. So please do adjust depending on how that feels for you right now. Fingertips down by your sides. You can roll through your shoulders, lift through your chest. On your exhale, folding towards the front. Hands, forearms, maybe you're stretched out in front. Soften down. Take a deep breath. One more breath as you are. Begin to bring yourself back up onto your hands. You're doing the same thing we did on the other side. So bringing both hands over towards this right side of your hips. Swinging your left leg around to the front. Wiggle yourself if you need. Sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Breathing in as you grow tall, lift up. Exhale, send your hands forwards. Guiding your chest forwards and down again. Find the length through your lower back. Find the length through your leg and stay in that position. From there, moving with your breath. Softening down. You might find that you actually start to move a significant chunk closer towards your ankle when you really bring your attention to your exhale. Breathing slow for one more. Rolling your chest back to the top. Coming up to seated. From here, we're going to turn again to this long side of our mats. This time, coming into a forward fold with a nice straddle through our legs. So feet as wide apart as you can get them. From this nice straddle position, taking a deep breath in, roll your shoulders, lift your chest, crown of our heads growing tall, and then slowly, as you breathe out, reaching your fingertips further forwards, trying to find this nice big stretch, not only through the insides of our legs, but also into our lower backs. Gently wiggling your fingers forward, sorry. See if we can just soften our shoulders slightly. It's really easy to hunch them up by our ears as we take our fold. But just take your shoulder blades slightly back, give your neck some space. And then lifting your chest back up towards the top into this seated position. We're going to bring our knees in closer towards us, bringing your knees towards each other, back into this boat pose, hands underneath your legs, shins parallel to your mat, shoulders roll back. Crossing your legs over, coming up onto our hands, back into this all fours, and then from here into a bit of a frog position. So it's up to you how wide you take your knees. I'm going to go a little bit wider than my mat. If you're on a bit of a slippery floor, you may need something behind your feet to stop you slipping too much. And then sending my hands forwards, I'm just going to come onto my forearms today because my hips kind of need to stay here. And I'm going to let my knees from this point slide slightly further out to a point that I can stay in, with my hips drawing back towards my heels, not the whole way, but just slightly. Forearms on the mat. Maybe you want to stretch your arms fully out, let your chest sink down. If that is too much for you right now, stay on your arms. If it's all too much there, come back up onto your hands, because this is quite intense through our hips. Just giving ourselves a couple minutes, not a couple minutes, a couple breaths. You might start to find that you can take your knees that little bit wider, maybe wiggle your feet further apart from each other. Softening down with every single breath out. Gently lifting ourselves back up from here, back up onto our hands. Bring our knees underneath us. Bringing your knees close together. Bottom back towards your heels, coming into a child's pose with our knees quite close this time. Just giving ourselves a little bit of a moment to reset from that fairly intense stretch through the insides of our legs. When you're ready, sliding forwards onto your tummy, into a Sphinx pose, hands down on your mat, forearms down, big roll of your shoulders, chest lifts. On your exhale, come back down onto your mat. And from here, we're just going to roll onto our backs. Nice and simple today. A little swivel onto the opposite side. Bringing your knees into your chest. Nice big hug for our legs, squeezing ourselves up nice and tight. And then coming back down onto your mat. Now here, we're just resting for our last few moments. I know it's easy to press pause, turn me off, everything else. But actually, just give yourself 60 seconds. Just 60 seconds to be still, to breathe, and just let gravity do its thing. Starting to move again into our fingers. Roll your wrists, circle your ankles. Maybe take a full body stretch. Arms reaching back, toes pointing forwards. Knees coming up towards us again. A lovely big cuddle, arms wrap around your legs, chest close up towards our thighs. Slowly lifting up to a comfy seated position, eyes still closed or a soft gaze in front of you. Hands might be in your lap, by your sides. Give your shoulders a lovely big roll. Lift tall through the crown of your head. Put a beautiful smile onto your face. Give yourself a very big well done. Thank you so, so much. I hope you're feeling a little bit more refreshed, maybe a little bit stretchier into certain tense places, and maybe just a little bit all round better. I hope you've had a nice 25 minutes. And if there's any other stretch, any more focus you would like, then please do pop me a message and let me know. I'm here to help. And I'm very, very happy to do anything if you really want to focus on that place. So let me know. I will see you very soon. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.